He built a new life, armed with nothing but a single folded piece of paper. No currency, no connections, just 7 whispered rules. In a land where words were currency and names were power, Tarek possessed neither. Yet his inheritance proved greater, but this story begins long before that moment. It started with a farewell, a father's hand, and a promise carved not in stone, but on the heart. Tarek had crossed the Great Sea, fleeing a war-torn homeland. He carried only the clothes on his back and the small, precious paper. The city of Ethelwood was a tapestry of sounds and scents he didn't understand. 1,000 opportunities, yet none for him. Hunger gnawed. Loneliness bit sharper. The language barrier was a silent, unscalable wall. He pulled out the worn parchment. His father's elegant script was a beacon in the unfamiliar world. The first rule, translated by memory, resonated. Build slow, build strong. He sought not grand work, but small. A derelict stall, forgotten and crumbling, caught his eye near the market's edge. Day after day, he cleared rubble by hand, swept debris with a salvaged broom. No pay, no praise, just painstaking effort. Merchants passed, curious. Children pointed. No one offered help. Most dismissed his silent toil. Slowly, painstakingly, a broken counter became sturdy. A gaping hole in the roof became a patchwork of salvaged wood. Across the way, Anya, a seasoned produce vendor, watched him with a critical but not unkind eye. She was old, her back aching from years of lifting heavy sacks. Tarek, observing, saw her struggle. Without a word, he crossed the gap between their stalls. His father's third whisper echoed, "Offer aid before it's asked." He lifted the sack as if it were feathers, placing it carefully on her stand. Anya blinked, then offered a shy smile. She reached for a crusty loaf, broke off a piece and offered it. Anya looked up and said, "For your kindness, young one." It was the first food he'd been given freely in weeks. A tiny act, but a bridge built between strangers. One evening, a shadowy figure approached his stall. He offered easy coin for unquestioning transport of certain goods. Tarek's stomach churned, desperate for money, but his father's second whisper came to mind. Speak truth, even to stones. Though he couldn't speak their tongue, his refusal was clear. The figure scowled, tossing the coins onto the ground in disgust. The money lay there, a tempting shimmer in the dim light. Tarek swept it away, leaving his stall empty but clean. His honesty, wordless though it was, did not go unnoticed. Anya, who had witnessed the exchange, offered him regular odd jobs. Soon his small stall became a place for mending, for small repairs, a quiet hub of diligent work. He fixed broken carts, repaired torn canvas, each knot tied, each nail driven, built more than just repairs. His corner of the market, once forgotten, began to hum with life, a testament to steady, honest effort. The first rule, build slow, build strong, was not just about wood and nails. It was about trust and dignity, painstakingly earned. But the path of quiet growth was rarely smooth. New challenges, like unexpected storms, lay ahead. A fierce autumn storm descended upon Ethelwood. Rain lashed down, wind tore at awnings, chaos gripped the market. Anya's fragile produce stand buckled, threatening to collapse. Her fruits and vegetables, her livelihood lay exposed. Tarek, his own stall secure, hesitated only a moment. His father's fifth whisper came, "Stand firm when the wind howls." He braced against the collapsing timbers, shouting to Anya over the storm's roar. His actions spoke louder than any words. Others, seeing Tarek's courage, rushed to help. Ropes were thrown, a makeshift tarp unfurled, a community rallying. By dawn, the storm had passed. Anya's stall was battered but standing, her goods saved. The market, though wet, was safe. Anya, her voice thick with gratitude, clasped Tarek's hand. Anya looked up and said, "You saved us all, son." Tarek could only nod, a small, grateful smile on his face. He knew it was not just him. His reputation for honesty and hard work spread beyond the market. Offers came, some tempting. A wealthy merchant offered him a position of influence, promising quick riches and status. It was everything he'd lacked when he first arrived. A shortcut to comfort, far from his father's slow path. He touched the folded parchment in his pocket. The sixth whisper, "The deepest root hides the tallest tree," reminded him. Tarek politely declined. He chose his humble stall over the grand, empty promises of the gilded office. He returned to his simple, honest work, grateful for the roots he had slowly, painstakingly grown. One afternoon, whispers of trouble swept through the market. A critical shipment of grain was lost at sea. Winter was approaching, and the city's granaries were already dangerously low. Panic began to ripple. The price of bread soared. Families began to hoard, distrust growing between neighbors. Anya, despite her years of saving, looked gaunt. Her elderly neighbor, Eldrin, was worse, too proud to ask for help. Tarek thought of his father's fourth whisper. "A closed hand gathers nothing." It spoke of sharing, of trust. He took a portion of his meager earnings and a small share of his own food. Not as charity, but as a silent bond. Eldrin found it, and though he never knew the giver, hope, like a warm ember, began to glow within him. The city council, desperate, considered harsh measures, rationing, even turning away new arrivals. Tarek, however, remembered his father's words. He had to do something, not just wait. He approached Anya, then Eldrin, then other market vendors. He couldn't speak, but he could draw. His plan was simple: pool resources, share what little they had, and send a small, fast vessel to a distant, untouched port. It was a risk, a gamble, but a closed hand gathers nothing also meant a closed heart. Risks less, gains nothing. Days turned into a week. Each sunrise brought more fear, more doubt. Had their gamble failed? Tarek clung to the parchment, to the memory of his father's unwavering gaze. He had to trust. Then a horn sounded, a small dot on the horizon, growing larger. It was their boat. Laden with sacks of grain, it glided into the harbor. The city erupted in a joyous, collective sigh of relief. The threat of famine averted. The market celebrated. Neighbors shared bread, grateful for their community's resolve. Tarek understood then that a closed hand gathers nothing, applied not just to money, but to hope and trust and shared burden. In the months that followed, Tarek's stall flourished. He became not just a repairman, but a trusted advisor. Children gathered, eager to learn simple mending, to draw, to listen to his quiet wisdom. He had built a life, not with words or wealth, but with the quiet strength of 7 simple rules. He pulled out the parchment one last time, its edges softened by countless touches. Each line, a map to a life well lived. Build slow, build strong. His stall stood firm. Speak truth, even to stones. His word was his bond. Offer aid before it's asked. Anya's smile, a quiet thanks. A closed hand gathers nothing. The city had trusted and flourished. Stand firm when the wind howls. The storm had passed, leaving strength behind. The deepest root hides the tallest tree. His humble beginnings were his true foundation, and the seventh, unspoken but ever-present. Remember the journey, not just the peak. He folded the paper carefully, placing it back in his coat, not as a talisman, but as a map fully walked. Tarek had arrived with nothing, yet built everything. A home, a purpose, a community forged from wisdom. His father's words, simple as they were, had proven to be the most invaluable inheritance of all. Tarek's journey reminds us that the quiet wisdom passed from parent to child is not just advice. It is the truest blueprint for a meaningful life. What whisper from your own past, a simple truth from someone who loved you, could guide you today? If Tarek's steadfast journey resonated with the unspoken wisdom in your own heart, stay for the next parable.